Okay, so confession time. I like movies. I actually love movies. The entire reason I'm talking to you now is because I have a deep, passionate love of cinema. That's even the entire purpose of this very YouTube channel, to tell you all the positive and negative things I see whenever I watch a film. It's called a review. It's not very often that I pay money to go to the theater, plop my butt in the seat, and then walk out after the credits roll and immediately start cursing up a storm. In fact, usually a disappointing movie just gets a pff and a shrug out of me. Watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, however, actually made me upset. Upset that the Jurassic Park franchise has been relegated to this. Upset that Steven Spielberg is somehow allowing himself to executive produce this trash. Upset that the John Williams score is treated with such disregard. And above all, I'm upset that the script and story of this movie are an insult to die-hard fans of the original film, and anyone on the planet who has a shred of common sense. Thank you so much for checking out the review. If you like it, please consider clicking that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new video. Jurassic Park is one of the greatest films ever made. It perfectly balances story, effects, tension, action, and humor. It couples fantastic filmmaking with iconic camera work, an incredible score, pitch-perfect acting, and a script that's extremely smart. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, aka Jurassic Park 5, does a few things right, but absolutely blows everything else. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I liked about the film, and then spend the bulk of the review dumping on the rest of it. If you like the movie, good for you. If you hated the movie like I did, let me welcome you with the most open arms. I'm here for you. This movie picks up a short time after the last one, which was simply called Jurassic World. Chris Pratt's Owen Grady and Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire Dearing have broken up for the second time. Chris Pratt is far and away the best thing about this movie. He's funny and charming, his comedic timing and delivery are flawless, and he seems genuinely interested in giving it his all. So that's one good thing about this movie. Let me see how many more good things I have. Here we go. One good thing. I have one more good thing to say about this movie. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom looks fantastic. The CGI on the dinosaurs is as believable as possible. Things look great when they blow up, and none of that is a problem here. What is a problem is everything else. The gist of the movie is this. After the collapse of the park in the last movie, Claire oversees this environmental nonprofit that's trying to save the dinosaurs because Isla Nublar is about to be completely annihilated by a volcano. A volcano that is literally never mentioned in any of the other movies. They have a pair of dumb, nerdy sidekicks that tag along and are used to advance the ludicrous plot. Meanwhile, on the mainland, John Hammond's old business partner, Sir Benjamin Lockwood, has a granddaughter who turns out to be a clone of his dead daughter. Lockwood's assistant Eli is the movie's villain, and he wants to sell the dinosaurs on the black market to bad people to make a bunch of money. That's basically the plot of the movie. If all of that sounds tropey and unoriginal, that's because it is. The script and story here are so abhorrent that I made a list. I never take notes during reviews. Like when I'm watching the movie and writing the review out, I never take notes before that. I took notes for this, like many notes. See? A lot of notes. Here's what's on the list. There was a lot of hype about Jeff Goldblum leading up into this movie. His return as Dr. Ian Malcolm. He's in the movie for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And it's just him sitting at a desk in front of like Congress or whatever, talking. I actually counted up the time. 2 minutes and 50 seconds for what amounts to a glorified cameo. The island in the movie where they go to rescue the dinosaurs apparently just has the massive volcano on it. I mentioned this before, but this wasn't even shown in Jurassic Park or discussed in Jurassic World. It's just there all of a sudden, and it explodes at the perfect time to make this movie happen. Okay, the good guys are escorted to the island by Eli's lackeys, who are heavily armed and clearly the bad guys. It's obvious to the audience, but our dumb characters, they have no clue. Early on, when they first get to the island, they're trying to rescue one of the velociraptors named Blue. She's from the first movie. She gets shot with a tranquilizer, and after she gets shot, she attacks one of the guys and tries to eat him. The guy who's getting eaten pulls out a gun to shoot Blue, which seems like a good idea, and I'm not kidding. The head mercenary goes, "Don't shoot her." He tells someone, a grown man tells someone who is currently being eaten alive by a dinosaur to not shoot that dinosaur. Why would you say this? The guy shoots Blue because that's exactly what any sane and rational person would do while being consumed. Also, the head mercenary guy has this weird fetish with dinosaur teeth. Whenever he finds a dead dinosaur or an unconscious dinosaur, he yanks out a tooth. This will be important later. After that, they end up tranquilizing Owen and leaving him to die. There's zero reason for this. I actually remember having an audible reaction to this when I saw it for the first time. Okay, wait, so let me get this straight. You're gonna leave an innocent man that you brought to this island to die? Just take him with you. You're taking all these other people with you. The mercenaries immediately went from save the dinosaurs to straight up cold-blooded murder. Okay. Shortly after this, Owen wakes up and tries to catch up with the group. There's some physical comedy where he's trying to like wake up and escape the lava. It's all dumb. But when he finds them, the two of them are in these rolling orbs from one of the last movies. The orb rolls down the mountain and into the ocean as the volcano is exploding. Owen gets engulfed in volcano smoke, and instead of being immediately killed to death, he emerges just fine and saves them from the sinking orb. None of this seems even remotely believable. At all. Oh, and when the orb is sinking down into the sea, it doesn't have any sort of like emergency exit handle. Dude, you're on an island filled with dinosaurs? Maybe the engineers should have thought this one through. So after that, they're driving a Jeep into the back of this cargo ship that's leaving the island. Claire drives the vehicle into the back of the boat, and I kid you not, she makes a ton of noise, and there's like 5 bad guys just standing around. Did you not notice this girl just haul ass off a pier and crash into the cargo hold directly in front of you? Claire puts on a hat and then just enters incognito mode, and everyone just pretends nothing happened. Back at the mansion, the little girl overhears Eli's conversation about all the bad things he's doing. Very convenient. She goes to Lockwood to rat him out, which makes sense. And for some reason, Lockwood just doesn't believe her, despite receiving extremely specific details about the bad guy's plan. Lockwood just tells her to go to sleep and they'll discuss it in the morning. Geez, she's trying to save your life, your fortune, and your legacy, but it's cool. It can wait until tomorrow. One of the nerds is this like Brooklyn hipster girl who's apparently a dinosaur doctor who can perform surgery to pull the bullet out of Blue, despite the fact that she's never seen a dinosaur in person. We know this because she tells us that she's never seen a dinosaur. She removes the bullet and immediately says she's gonna be okay. The implication is that because the bullet is now out, the animal is just completely fine. No concerns about infection or organ damage. She is just good to go. Great. Dr. Wu, you remember him. He's the scientist from the first movie with the raptor eggs, and he's in the last movie too. Yeah, he's here, and he's evil and terrible for no particular reason. This movie also has a big bad villain dinosaur. He's a combination of the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World and a velociraptor. Hold up. The last movie made a pretty big deal about the Indominus Rex already being part raptor, so this one is just like more raptor. Also, he's black and made of pure muscle and has these gold streaks going down the side. The dinosaur does look awesome, but is introduced with 44 minutes left in the movie. For reasons I will get around to shortly, he also sucks. Just so everyone can keep track, the last 50 minutes of this movie and everything I'm talking about from now on take place at the Lockwood Mansion and the attached dinosaur lab. Lockwood finally catches on to what Eli is doing, and when he calls him out, Eli does the most reasonable thing you can think of. He smothers the old man to death with a pillow. Nice. So we're now at the mansion, and Eli is there with a short guy who's a jerk arms dealer, and they start to auction off the dinosaurs. Head mercenary is there too, and so is Dr. Wu. They start auctioning off these dinosaurs for anywhere between $10 to $50 million, and the movie hypes up the dinosaurs as these amazing killing machines that can destroy an army. This is very similar to what happened in the last movie. As proven with Blue earlier in the film, you can easily injure and most likely kill these things with a pistol. So why are they so valuable? Also, in the grand scheme of things, $50 million for a weapon of war, like it's hyped up to be, actually isn't that expensive. An F-35 Lightning II costs like $90 million, and I'm pretty sure you can't shoot one of those down with a handgun. Also, unless you're sending these animals into like a cave system to kill a bunch of unarmed Taliban, this seems like a complete waste of money. Of course, the dinosaurs end up getting loose and killing a bunch of the arms dealers because obviously it's a very predictable movie. They also unleash this poisonous gas and conveniently break the building's ventilation system. This now means that unless they're released directly into the wild, these dinosaurs are all gonna die. This seems like the ideal situation for everyone. Before that can happen, though, we get to see what the big bad Indoraptor can do. Prior to the dinos breaking loose, the Indoraptor is being sold at auction. Wu seems to have a problem with this since the dinosaur is a prototype and is hyper aggressive, but he's cool with selling all these other murder creatures. Okay, dude. Nice writing. Because the Indoraptor is stuck in this cage, the movie needs an excuse to get him out. Enter Head Mercenary. For reasons that can only be described as criminally insane, he decides to tranquilize the most dangerous creature on the entire planet so he can yank out its tooth. As he's going for the tooth, the raptor opens its eyes to show the audience that it's awake, and then it does something that can only be described as nuts. It smiles. It doesn't just smile, it smiles twice. What is this? And then it chomps the dude's arm off and eats him to death. You had it coming, dude. The cage is open, the Indoraptor is out. What happens next is interesting. The Indoraptor proceeds to stalk the good guys throughout the mansion. We've been led to believe that this animal is the alpha of alphas and can murder anything on the planet. It has a superior sense of smell and can be made to acquire targets via laser and unleashed via audio signal to kill its prey. But it can't actually smell the good guys when they're on the other side of a dinosaur skeleton? How do you expect this thing to take out the Taliban when it can't even take out a little girl, a 30-something woman, and Chris Pratt? At this point in the movie, nobody is even armed. This thing should have zero issues hopping over the skeleton, seeing the heroes, and devouring them all in 30 seconds. Of course, it doesn't. During the next 5 minutes, the movie shoves 4 direct callbacks to the first Jurassic Park right into our faces. One, the little girl climbs into a dumbwaiter, and the Indoraptor runs at her while she closes the door. It's exactly like the first movie in the kitchen. Number 2, the raptor does the toe tap from the first movie, just like in the kitchen scene. Number 3, the raptor opens a door, just like the first movie. Wait, that's the kitchen scene too. Number 4, Blue attacks the Indoraptor to give our hero some more time. This is filmed exactly like the last action scene in Jurassic Park, but instead of the T-Rex attacking the raptors, the good raptor is attacking the Indoraptor. And yes, it's stupid. So in order to conclude our dumb movie, the heroes end up on top of a building, above that dinosaur skeleton they were hiding behind earlier. They trick the Indoraptor into crashing through the roof, but it pulls itself up at the last second. Then out of absolutely nowhere, Blue comes flying off the top rope like she's the Macho Man Randy Savage and tackles the Indoraptor onto the skeleton, which impales the animal and it dies. Dude, bravo, nice shot, Blue. You just happened to smash her into the very precise 2-foot window that you needed to kill her. Okay, so thankfully the movie is basically over at this point. There's just a few little things to wrap up. The dinosaurs are still roaming around outside their pens and they're slowly getting gassed to death. This leads our heroes into the control room where there's a button to release the dinosaurs. Convenient. If they don't push the button, the dinosaurs die. If they do push it, the dinos are just now out in mainland America, and this is going to be a problem for planet Earth. In the room, we have Claire, Owen, and the little clone girl. So 2 adults and a child. So Claire wants to save the dinosaurs, and her gut reaction is to do just that. She's got her hand over the button, she's about to push it, and then Owen finally warns her that, hey, maybe this idea ain't so hot. She realizes that, yeah, unleashing these murder creatures is probably going to go horribly wrong. So she closes the cover to the button and backs away from the desk. Finally, the adults in the room have made the right decision, which is to finally put a stop to all this damage and murder and mayhem. Oh, but then this movie ain't done. No. But then the door opens and Claire and Owen turn around to see the little girl standing over the button she just pushed. This is supposed to be a serious moment. And she says, no joke, she says, I had to. They're alive. Like me. Yeah, maybe we should leave the world-altering decisions to the adults that aren't, what, like 8 years old? Claire and Owen just kind of shrug. Very responsible of both of you. Nice job. I really can't put into words how much I hate this decision. We've had 5 movies in this series so far, and except for the first movie, nobody has learned a lesson. Ian Malcolm, Ellie, and Alan Grant understood this in the first movie. It spent the entire time reinforcing how bad this idea was. Ever since then, it's just been a long string of the same bad decision after bad decision. When is somebody going to finally stand up and say, hey guys, we have to let these things die? Now that that awful scene has concluded, the T-Rex makes its cameo entrance to eat Eli, and that's the end. That's it, gang. That's really all there is. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is a beautiful looking movie in which every character makes the wrong decision every chance they get. Owen agrees to go back to the island to save Blue. Claire acts all holier than thou as the dinosaur savior. The nerd kids serve as simple plot engines to move things forward. And I seriously dislike everything about this movie. This is going to be an unpopular opinion because I know many people who genuinely enjoyed this thing. I hate this movie. It's not so bad it's good like Plan 9 or The Room. It's just the closest I've ever come to walking out of the theater. By the end of the film, I couldn't understand at all what Colin Trevorrow and Derek Connolly were thinking when they wrote this script. Director J.A. Boyana deserves some blame, but I save most of my wrath for the screenwriters. Trevorrow is directing the next movie, and oh boy, good luck cleaning up this mess you made, buddy. Okay. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, click on that red subscribe button. You can also like and share the review since those really help the channel grow. Also, sound off down in the comments, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.